Out of the 400 plus books that I have ever read, I've only given 37 of them 5 stars. And this video doesn't end until I find one more. Hi friends, welcome back or welcome if you are new. My name is Mali and today we are starting the long journey of looking for a 5-star read because at this point it is absolutely dire. Like I am desperate. I haven't had a 5-star read the entire year and we are in April. That's 4 months. I don't know what it is, but like some of my most anticipated reads have not been hitting. And in fact, in the past couple of months, I've DNF'd about 5 to 7 books, which is the most books I've DNF'd ever. And we're only in April. My TBR for this video consists of books I think I'm gonna absolutely adore. My 5-star predictions. And if I don't find a 5-star from this stack, I'm gonna have a really deep reflection with myself and truly think, do I know myself? Because at this point I don't think I do. So the first book that we're gonna look for a 5-star is Station 11. I am so excited for this book. I read Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel in March and I really liked it. It was a really strong like 4-star read. It was so close to being a 5-star, but I don't think it will be. I loved so many aspects of that novel, but there's like 1 or 2 things that just stopped it from being like absolutely perfect for me. But I have really high hopes for this one. This is literary dystopia. This book actually like predicted the 2020 pandemic, but it goes in a totally different way than the pandemic went in real life. This was actually written like all the way back in like 2014, I think it was. I'm really excited with how it will explore a apocalyptic world where humanity is doing its best to survive. Another 5-star prediction is My Death by Lisa Tuttle. I talked about this book quite extensively in my April TBR because I am really excited for this book because I have been comparing this to A Ghost in the Throat. I think I'm gonna absolutely adore it. It features 2 women artists, one from the future and one from the past, and both women, despite having nothing to do with each other, actually find that they're quite similar. The next book I think I'm gonna absolutely adore is On the Calculation of Volume. This is International Booker nominee and I'm so grateful for that prize every single year because it brings forward books I've never would have heard of otherwise. This has been highly praised ever since it was nominated. So many people are loving it. It just sounds exactly like what I love. This is a literary dystopia. Again, I just love literary dystopias because I find it such a beautiful and introspective, character-driven exploration on the end of the world, and I absolutely love those type of stories when it's about a woman who's living the same day over and over again. So those are the 3 main books that we're going to be reading for this video. If, however, I don't find a 5-star in this stack, I'm going to be really sad, but I have backup. So I also have The Wall. This is another literary dystopia book. This is about a woman who is isolated from the rest of the world, I think by like a wall, an invisible wall, and she can't leave that wall. So she's stuck behind that wall and she's alone there. There's no other humans there with her. Her only companions is just a couple of animals. And then I also have Stoner. This is a huge 5-star prediction for me. I absolutely adore NYRB books. I love what they do with classics forgotten by time, and so this one sounds like a very deep character study on this lonely professor, and I love a character study. You guys know I love getting to know characters in a very deep and intimate way, and especially in a way that brings them to life almost. I feel like I'm gonna get to know this character almost like a friend would, so I'm very intrigued by that premise. Those are the books that we're gonna be reading in this video, and hopefully there's a 5-star in this stack. If there isn't a 5-star, guys, I give up reading. You will never see this video posted and I will disappear from the booker side of the internet. I am quite stingy with my 5 stars. If I don't absolutely adore a book front to cover, I don't give it a 5-star. A lot of books also that end up being a 5-star, I think on it. I give it a 4-star and then a couple months later I will go back and change it to a 5-star because it ended up staying with me. Hopefully if I don't find like an immediate 5-star, one of these will eventually turn into a 5-star later down the road. But I will keep you guys posted, obviously. If nothing comes out from this stack, I'm just gonna give up reading. But I think these are really high potentials. Quite excited to read through this stack and have you guys along for the ride. Buckle up. I think this video is gonna be a little bit long, but grab a drink and get cozy.
Side by side we sway there in all the colors. Summer love, lonesome dove, folded on the lawn chair in all the colors.
So a couple days ago, I finished Station 11 and I needed that time to ruminate on my thoughts, to think on what I want to rate this book and what I think of this book. And it came really close. I want to tell you guys that right now, but this is not a 5-star read. I honestly would not have been mad to get a 5-star on the very first book, but even though I really enjoy my time with this just doesn't feel like a 5-star in my heart of hearts. I think I'm being a little bit nitpicky, a little stingy maybe, but I very rarely rate books 5-star like right after finishing them. The only book that I did that quite recently in my memory is Intermezzo, and that was in September of 2024. But usually I do like to think on a book and think on why I like this book and what didn't work for me. So this is why I took a little bit of time to come on here and tell you guys my final verdict. So I don't usually say my star ratings for books. There's so many nuances about stars. My star rating system could not mean the same as yours, but for the sake of this video, this was a 4-star, maybe a 4.25. To be nitpicky, maybe the first 100 or so pages were just a little bit slow. I also didn't feel like I really liked Arthur as a character. He's one of the first characters that were introduced, and he dies like literally on the first chapter, first page. It says it on the blurb, it's not a spoiler. So we do get a lot of chapters on him, his life, his career as an actor, and his multiple wives and all that. And there were some times when I was like, okay, I don't care too much about Arthur, like he's dead, like why is he here? But at the same time, he's kind of like, think of the characters as like a flow chart, and Arthur's the very top. So he's kind of like the man who connects every other character that we follow in the story. So he is important to the story, so I do get why we get his point of view. And it's only like 1 or 2 times that I felt that way. I am just being nitpicky because at the end of the day, I had such a fun time with this book. I just had such a good time with Emily St. John Mandel. I've read Station 11 last month and I really enjoyed that. And a lot of the things that I enjoyed in Sea of Tranquility were present in this book. I really liked how Emily St. John Mandel just perfectly balances plot and characters, and they equally move the story along. Such a fun, fast-paced plot, and then when you get plenty of characters to care about and you follow them throughout this very desolate land. As a big character-driven story type of girl, having the plot equally move along the story has been such a change for me, but I like this. I did think that the plot was so cleverly put together. There's so many little nuggets of information and clues that are pieced together slowly, and once you capture what she's laying down, it just makes it so hard for you to start reading because you want to know, is that happening right now? I also really like the vast array of characters. Much like in Sea of Tranquility, there was a lot of characters, but you don't really get confused on any of the characters. You get to know them quite well, especially our main character, Kirsten. She is a child actress before the pandemic, and then after, she continued being an actress, but with a traveling troupe of musicians and actresses. I also really adored the atmosphere in this. That's one of the things I really like about dystopian novels, the desolate landscape, the barren landscape, the desperate landscape, and I got so much of that in this book. So vividly imagine nature reclaiming broken cities and abandoned houses and all types of things. So again, I really did like a lot of this book. I think I'm just being very nitpicky. I don't know, but in my heart of hearts, this doesn't feel like a 5-star. I had such a fun time with this. Quite honestly, this is a 4.25. Depending on how the year goes, this could be a 5-star at the end of the year because I just had such a fun time reading Emily St. John Mandel's books. I just have been having a blast. I really want to read The Glass Hotel now. I like this book a lot, and my cat also liked this book because she took a big chunk of it unprompted. My next read is gonna be either one of these 4. These 3 are very literary fiction, right? And then we have The Wall. This is another dystopian novel, which is a huge 5-star prediction. All of these are 5-star predictions, but I think I'm gonna give this one a little chance, a little break, because I just finished reading a dystopian novel. I think it goes a lot more literary anyways, but I'm gonna leave this one for later. I think I'm really feeling like reading My Death by Lisa Tuttle. I'm just really pulled to this one right now. It's short, which I will really need right now, because in the background of this video, I don't know what's going on with my reading. I'm gonna be quite honest with you guys. My reading from April has been very, very slow. I've only finished 2 books and we're currently on April 11. And I DNF'd like 2 books back to back. One of them was a book that was like 50% in, another one I was just like 30% in. Like, I'm not in a slump, but it's so obvious to me what's not working. And so I get rid of it a lot quicker because I don't have the patience for it right now, because I'm in such a weird reading mood. So I think I want to pick up like a really huge 5-star prediction, and hopefully I will love it and it'll get me out of this funk. Again, it's short, so I feel like I could amp up my reading with this. I have high hopes for this one, so hi friends. So it has been a hot minute, I am not gonna lie. My fault. I just hadn't been in the mood really to be on the camera, but I have been reading. I finished over the weekend My Death by Lisa Tuttle, and you guys might remember that this was a huge 5-star prediction for me. I was really, really excited to read this, and I kept comparing it to this other book that I really loved a couple of years ago, and I am very sad to announce that this was not a 5-star read. And I'm very sad about that fact. I'm just, oh my god. It started out really, really well. I was really liking the writing style and where it was going, the literary sleuthing. I really like that part. So our narrator in this book remains unnamed, and she proposes to her editor to write a biography. Her career is failing and she's really uninspired ever since the death of her husband. Helen Ralston is an author who is fake, by the way. I literally thought that this person was real. That just goes to show how realistic Lisa Tuttle's writing is. Like, she really had me fooled. Our narrator has a lot of significance on Helen Ralston because she was an author that she discovered through university. Helen Ralston was basically an author that she could return time and time again. So despite her being such a significant inspiration for her, our narrator realizes that she actually doesn't know anything about her. Helen Ralston's like life and facts is only told through a male's point of view, and even so, a lot of the men in her life have obscured her. So our narrator embarks on a journey to find out more about Helen Ralston and her untold legacy, and to uncover what really went on between Helen Ralston and the guy that she was involved with. And I really liked the beginning of it. I really liked the literary sleuthing of finding out who Helen Ralston is. And it felt like perfect because once our narrator decided to, I'm gonna write a biography on Helen Ralston, the doors of the universe open up for her, and lots of like little perfect coincidences fall in her lap, making it out to seem like it was destined for our narrator to find out more about Helen Ralston. I really liked this part because it felt like we were getting to know Helen Ralston's untold legacy at the same time our narrator was. I was really liking where it was going. Like I said, I do love like a deep character study, but the ending just ruined it for me because, without spoilers, this takes a very dreamlike, surreal type of twist that makes everything else that happens void. Like, it just, it pissed me off. And I didn't like that. And then it's so short as well, and I wanted more after that fact. A lot of things were left unexplained. Like, I just wanted to know more on Helen Ralston, and then that ending happened, and then it ended just like that. I was like, what the fuck? It wasn't what I expected it to be at all, and I think it's also my fault because I just had so much high expectations on this book. Sadly, My Death was not a 5-star read. It was like, I ended up rating a 3-star, by the way. Like, the ending just pissed me off so bad. So after My Death, I picked up Stoner by John Williams because I thought, okay, I think this is gonna give me like the deep character study that I'm so desperately craving right now. So far, I'm enjoying Stoner. I'm not loving it. Like, it's not giving 5-star material for me. I am like 120 pages in, just a little bit over halfway through, and I have begun to underline some things. So you can see a little bit of my dog ears, but nothing spectacular is happening, nothing crazy is happening. This just follows our main character, whose name is William Stoner. He comes from a very humble beginning. He is the son of farmers and he goes into university for agriculture. However, during his second year, he takes an elective on an English literature class and he falls in love with English literature and English language and all the just loves that scholar life, and so he switches majors from agriculture to English major. So we follow Stoner through his life. He begins as a student and then as a professor himself, and we are following Stoner's life very closely, which I am enjoying. I do love like a really slow moving character driven plot. However, it's not very of him. Like I feel like I don't know him too much, but I am enjoying the book so far. It just doesn't feel like a 5-star read, which is very sad, but who knows. I still have half of this book to go, so maybe it could be. We shall see if this ends up being a 5-star.
Deixa que o amor invade a porta da tua casa. Deixa que o carinho seja o beijo de uma flor. Deixa que o amor invade a porta da tua casa. Deixa que o carinho.
I have updates and they're not fun updates. So a little bit ago, well, last night I finished Stoner by John Williams, and oh, this was not a 5-star read. Like I said in my last clip, it was not feeling like a 5-star, so I'm not surprised that I got to the end and it wasn't a 5-star anyways. Usually a 5-star book starts off being a 5-star for me. I get that feeling really early on paper. This sounded exactly like my type of thing. I really thought that this was gonna be the one before I picked it up. It just sounded like a really deep character study, and I know I'm really annoying because I keep saying that, but that's like truly what I crave in literary fiction. That's what I crave in my 5-stars. A lot of my 5-star reads are deep character studies, and so I thought that this was gonna be that, because while yes, in hindsight, we follow Stoner's life, we follow his academic career and then his personal life, him falling in love and getting married and then his affair, the blurb says, a transforming experience of new love ends under threat of scandal. All those buzzwords, I thought that he fell into a gay relationship. Like I really thought he was gonna get into a gay relationship with one of his army buddies. That did not happen. It was just some girl. So I felt like we missed out on like some really like a good opportunity. You know what I mean? But whatever. So all of these events eventually made up Stoner's life. And my problem with this is that at the end of the day, I just did not care for Stoner. As him as a character, I just did not care for him. I felt like even though we followed him and his life, it was still a very detached view from him. Like we were fully observing on his life. I don't know, I just felt like we didn't know him as a character. Truly reflecting on it, I just did not care for Stoner. However, that is not to say that I disliked this book. I really did enjoy my time with this. I remember telling you guys I was enjoying it, and I did enjoy it all the way through. I did dog ear some pages on this. There was some gorgeous writing, and somehow once I started reading, like I would look up and I will be reading for 40 minutes and I read somehow 60 pages in one go. Like it just felt so captivating because of the writing style, which is absolutely beautiful and stunning. And it is my type of writing style. Again, it is my type of book. Like I do love following a character, doing mundane things, mundane tasks, going through their daily life, like a very slice of life type of story, but it just missed that extra character exploration that I require for a book to be a 5-star read for me, especially one that is so character driven like Stoner. While I was in the nitty gritty of it, I was really captivated by his story and his life, but like looking back at it, I just did not really care for him. I ended up rating this at 3.75. That means we are still in the hunt for a 5-star, and I think that my next book is gonna be on the calculation of volume. This is on my April TBR, and I was really excited when my TBR jar picked out this book for me. This is nominated for the Booker Prize. I think it was even shortlisted, and it's one of the few like Booker Prize titles that really caught my attention this time. This is like a Groundhog Day meets literary fiction. I know that we follow this woman as she relives the same day over and over again. It sounds like my type of thing, and I love like a literary dystopian. Let's move on to book 4 of this vlog. Let's hope that fourth time's the charm. It's been a hot minute. I don't even remember the last time that I came on this vlog. I had to take a little break from filming this vlog because I was filming another vlog and I just couldn't do 2 vlogs at once. It was just not going to be possible. During that time that I was gone though, I did finish on the calculation of volume, and straight off the bat, this was not a 5-star read. This was more like a 4-star. I can't even tell you why it's not a 5-star because I really enjoyed this, and this really is my type of thing. Like, I am so eager to start book 2 and book 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7, because it's going to be a 7-part series, which sounds insane. I'm very curious to know how it's going to continue on for like 7 more installments. Just the entire time I was reading this, I was like, okay, yeah, this is a 4-star read. I didn't ever feel like it was a 5-star read. So while I enjoyed every single aspect of this book and I just enjoyed my reading time with it, I didn't feel like a 5-star read. So I gotta honor myself. If you guys are new to my channel, you guys might not know, but I think everybody knows at this point, I fucking love dystopian fiction, especially strange literary dystopian fiction, like speculative fiction. In this one, we follow Tara. She is a woman who finds herself in a time loop. Her day, November 18, keeps restarting over and over and over. She starts writing her experience and she starts recounting the days once the 120th November 18 happens. It's a very mundane type of book. It's very quiet, which is just so my jam. I really enjoyed it, and I thought that the same day happening over and over again will get a little bit repetitive. I was a little bit scared of that actually, so I was very curious to know how our author was gonna do that, right? And I found that it was just so different. Every single day was so different. Every single day there was a new detail that Tara will kind of like obsess over and experiment and like research and like just really explore. Also like the fact that we don't have answers, because Tara doesn't have answers, and I don't mind not knowing things that our main character also doesn't know. It kind of annoys me when I know something that the main character doesn't, but Tara and we are in the dark. We don't know why there is this time loop. She's the only one who remembers the fact that she is in a time glitch. Not even her husband remembers. A lot of this novel reminded me of like the early days of the pandemic. The waiting, the slow desperation, the mundanity, the same day kind of like repeating itself over and over. I felt a lot of the hope that Tara had at the beginning of getting out of this time loop and figuring out how it is that she got there. But then later the confusion set in and the desperation and then like sort of like the acceptance of the situation. I also really like the straightforwardness of the prose. It was both very like sharp and straight to the point, but tender in its quiet meditations on love and loneliness, time, writing as a healing balm, memory. I really did enjoy this. I don't know why it's not a 5-star. I don't know. I literally could not tell you. That does mean that we will be continuing with The Wall by Marlene Hushofer. This is another literary dystopia in which our main character is barricaded in like inside a force field, and her only companions is like a couple of animals. That's all I know. It sounds a little bit similar to this on the fact that it's gonna be very quiet, very mundane. I'm a little bit worried that it's gonna be too similar to what I just read, but hopefully this is the one. Hopefully this is the 5-star read. If not, I don't know what we're reading, but let's give this one a shot. found a 5-star read. It's my first official 5-star read of 2025. This just hit all the spots for me. You guys know that I love literary dystopian, especially one that is quiet, introspective, mundane. A lot of people might call this book boring, but if you're one of these people, I don't need you here. I absolutely adore this, and I am so happy that I was at least right in one 5-star prediction. I think I said already that this is a book about a woman who one day wakes up during her vacation in the mountains and she finds that there is like invisible wall surrounding her. So that means that she can't really leave, right? So she is stuck in the mountains and her only companions is a dog, a cat, and a cow. That's basically all you need to know going forward with this, right? It is a beautiful exploration on survival and loneliness. And I just really loved the relationships that our main character had with the animals and with nature. She uses nature to survive, but she also brings forward a lot of love to it, and she takes care of the forest, she takes care of her animals. There's a review slash blurb at the back of this book that goes something along the lines that only a woman could have written this book because it's only a woman who would know the empathy and the devotion it takes to build the life worth living after such an event, and I couldn't agree more. So we see her go about the daily tasks that it takes to build such a home for herself and for her animals. About the animals, they definitely were an aspect that stood out for me the most in this novel. The relationship that our main character had with her animals were so strong and so beautiful. She was so completely devoted to her animals because not only were they her chance of survival, they were also companions. They were a constant source of worry for her, but also affection. And it is with that same affection and love that she received back. Her animals rewarded her with loyalty, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful relationship. There were so many quotes in here that I just underlined because as a cat lover, I get it. I get it. I so would give anything for my own animals, and I just found it very, really beautiful in that sort of meditation on humans and animals and the quiet devotion that they give back in return. I took my time with this book, but not because I was bored of it or anything like that. It was mainly my fault, but once I sat down to read, I could not put this book down. I just really enjoyed seeing our main character move against the landscape and do what needed to be done to survive. Like, a lot of people will say this is boring, but it's not. It's really not. There were a lot of parts where this book made me quite emotional. Like I said earlier, the relationship that our main character had with her animals were so tender, and so a lot of it made me cry. There's a lot also foreshadowing of what happened in the end, and even though I knew, it still took me by surprise. And so I was literally reading the end of this book at a cafe, and I was literally crying. I was crying at the cafe, guys. The emotional impact really sealed the deal on it being a 5-star for me, and I think I'm always gonna think about this book. Oh my god, look at the amount of dog ears I have on this. Yeah, if you guys have this in your TBR, please pick this up. I think it goes to show me being a stingy 5-star giver. I gave this stunning little book a 5 stars. So happy that this video led us to The Wall by Marlene Hooshofer. I don't think I would have read it for a very long time if I wasn't filming for this video. Very, very happy that we did have a 5-star at the very end. Literally thinking on like, god, I don't want to read for another book for this video because I don't know. I don't have another 5-star prediction right now on my physical TBR. I really don't have anything right now that I think I'm absolutely gonna adore. So I'm really, really happy that we found one with the end of this video. So I'm gonna be signing off here because we did what we came to do. We find a 5-star for 2025 and it was The Walls. That is the end of this video. Thank you so much for coming along with this journey with me. It was long and arduous. It took us the majority of April to find a 5-star and 2 weeks of May. Let me know what your first 5-star of 2025 was. If you haven't found a 5-star yet, I am so sorry for you. I know how that feels. Hope you find one soon. If you reach until the end and you don't know what to comment a animal emoji for The Wall, and I will see you guys very, very soon.